everybody, trademark attorney Josh Gerben here, and today I want to talk about when should you start the trademark registration process for your company name, your brand name, your service name. When should that process start? And the answer is as soon as humanly possible. And here's why. The number one mistake that I have seen clients make over the 11 years that I've been in practice for myself is falling in love with a name and absolutely having to have that name and having no ability to change it. That's because if I run a trademark search and my advice is that this name could be infringing on somebody else's, that client is going to be highly likely to just push through that advice, try to file the trademark application, and put the product in the marketplace. And when they do that, maybe instantly, maybe in a year or two, they're going to get a cease and desist letter, and then they're going to have to change the name anyhow. So getting your lawyer involved, however painful that may seem, nobody wants to pay lawyers, I get that. But at our firm, we offer extremely reasonable flat rate services to do this kind of work, and we can do a really good search for you before you've fallen in love and have locked in a name that you have to use. So now that you should bring a trademark attorney in at the beginning of the brand journey, let me tell you how the largest companies in the world go about selecting names to avoid trademark infringement lawsuits. They might start with dozens, if not hundreds of names for a particular product or service offering. And they'll do what's called a knockout search. In other words, a very quick database search to see any obvious problems. And then they'll move off the vast majority of those names. And they might whittle it down to 5 that they'll do a full search on. And a full search is typically one that costs, if you're working with a large law firm, can cost a couple $1,000s, if not more. With our firm, it typically costs less than $1,000 to run such a search. But once they get the results of those full searches back on a handful of trademarks, they'll know maybe all of them are no good and they have to start over again. Or maybe there'll be 2 or 3 that actually pass the test. And then at that point, the business folks and the marketing folks come back in and select the final name. But not until legal has cleared the name. And look, I get it. Everybody thinks lawyers, we just throw roadblocks in a process. We're obstructionist. We don't help the business people just do their job. That's fine. That's a fair criticism a lot of the time. But when it comes to selecting trademarks, our goal is to prevent a case where you start to use a brand name and you build equity into that brand name, and all of a sudden someone comes along and says, oh, I actually have a really good case for infringement against you, and you have to change the name. And maybe you even have to pay damages. But just think of how devastating it would be to have to rebrand everything after a year or two of building equity into your particular name. So now you may say, well, Josh, that's how the large companies do it, but we're a small business, we're a medium-sized business, we just don't have the legal budget for all that. And that's fine, because in today's legal marketplace, there are plenty of law firms like mine that offer very reasonable flat rate services to help you in the name selection and clearance process. And the earlier you bring somebody in like me, the more tools in my toolkit I will have available to help you and help you avoid any problems with your trademark. And that to me is the most important thing I can do for any client, and I hope you let us help you with your trademark soon.